Do not write on your question paper. Lastly, follow all do we call them examiner or invigilators? Follow all invigilators what is it called? Advice or instructions. Follows all invigilators' instructions. Sit down here. This is not my number. And I don't need to sit here. They can have reason for them to rearrange you, even if the number that is posted on your table is not where your number is supposed to be. They can rearrange. Follow their instruction. Stand up. Let me have what you are having in your bag. Give all instruction. Follow all instruction given. And to round everything up, please, when you are going for your examination, always remember all your writing materials. I know some of us till now, we did not have calculator and you want to write SFM. You are not helping yourself. Some of us among ourselves, we still know ourselves. You don't have calculator. You have been borrowing calculators from the start of the exam. Some of us did not even make an attempt to even punch while during the class to confirm some of these figures if they are correct. Maybe during their revision, they now discover that this figure is not correct. Why is this like this? But if you are not practicing with that your calculator, because I will share your experience. Somebody that is not having calculator, planning to have the calculator 2 days before the examination, now get that calculator on the way. Even some of us will even buy the calculator at the entrance of the examination hall. Now entering the examination hall, the calculator now fuck up. You may even test the calculator where you bought it, it's working. But you enter the examination hall, you press 2, calculator is showing you 5. Please, you need to be familiar with the calculator you want to use from now as you are doing your revision before you even go to the examination. So let the calculator fuck up now so that you will know that this calculator is not to be used before the examination. Then when you are going, always remember your calculator, your pencil. Please try as much as possible to get pencil. It is necessary. Your pencil can also be part of what you will be using to do your planning. Go with your calculator, your pencil, your cleaner, then your biro. Please, minimum of 3 pens. Minimum. Have minimum of 3 pens. You can buy new biro now, and you enter the examination now. As you are writing, the biro might fuck up again. And that 3 biro you are going with, advise as well. Let it be of the same type. Thank you all. This is my submission.
That's a great submission. Thank you very much, Mr. Wahab. I'm sure our listeners are happy to listen to you. At this point, I'd like to welcome 3 questions so that we can move to the next speaker. Thank you. Compassion. I'm taking your question first. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I deeply appreciate this, well, I call it a seminar or an exposure. It's an eye opener. I've written the exam. I tried writing last diet, and out of the 3 subjects, I was able to pass 2 of it. And I appreciate IoT a great deal, the lecturers. And then I also want to thank you people that the complaints we made the last diet, they were taken into consideration, and a lot changed. I want to start by appreciating Ayanda, because I got to know this IoT through him. I was browsing my YouTube, and then I saw this corporate governance and this thing in corporate strategic management and ethics. And I loved the way he took it. I listened to the whole, I was like, come on. Since I'm looking for where to go for these classes, let me just join these people. That was how I came to IoT. I want to bring that to fore. There's something Mr. Wahab said he said something, one of the don'ts. He said, don't go below 60. Please, what is wrong about that? Because we have very busy schedules, some of us, and we struggle to read. Like, I practically struggle. Like, I tell myself, you just have to. You're not the only one. You just have to, And then I'm telling myself, come on, just cross 50 and then you're fine. So what is wrong about it? I just want to know. That's my main question here.
Okay. So thank you for that question.
Mr. Wahab.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, before you answer, let's also thank Mr. Ayanda for
Mr. Inyonda. So thank you for that recommendation.
Just on the lighter mood.
So, Mr. Inyonda, you are highly recognized. We appreciate you. Paulina, then thank you for your observation and for you having that belief in ICAN online tutor. And truly, we are there. And for the other thing that you also mentioned, that we've tried as much as possible to be able to resolve part of the complaints that students raised in the previous diet. So we keep on improving. So back to your question, that why do we need to put ourselves on a limit of minimum of 60%? We shouldn't go below 60%. And the reason is just simple. You are setting a target. You need to set targets. What do we even call targets? In most cases, we look at targets to be something to set an action or an event to the extent that we will not be able to achieve something that we think that it is not achievable. That is what we usually look at to be a target. That is, first thing, something that is achievable, then we will now set ahead of what is achievable. That is the target. And why do you need to set your target above what you know that you can achieve? The reason behind it is that if you are having a target of 60%, you need to work towards meeting up with what? With that 60%, plus or minus. If you are not to meet up with that 60%, it should not be lower to it. Lowest, you must break even. That is what we call that target. And now, if you are not setting your target, plus or minus, somebody may be saying that because I wanted to write the examination, I'm having a lot of tasks. Fine. You are having your objective. If you are having objective and you're also having what is called constraints, you have to look at how are you going to overcome this. If you set your targets to be 50%, you will be very wrong. Please do not set your target to be 50%. Do not. If you're having that in your mind, change that view, change that opinion. Even if you are not setting your target to be 60%, we at IOT, we believe you. We have that belief and courage in you that you can even score 80%. You can score 80%. But you yourself, you need to be self-determined. You have to be self-determined that target, you have to achieve it. So if you are setting lower targets, that means that lower target, you are still telling yourself that plus or minus, I need 50. That means if anything should happen on the long run, that means that target will be affected or may be affected. And that is why we usually have a forecast. A forecast, we make a projection. And that projection that you are making, what do we usually do to it? We look at other factors that may hinder that projection. And that is why we usually have inflation. Please, you have to inflate your target. If you're having 50% target now, you have to inflate it to 70%. So if any factor can affect it, market condition, inflation, work overload, please still increase that your target to 70%. So if any factor is going to affect it, if you are to reduce, you reduce by maybe 1 to 2%. Please change that mindset. Move your target upward.
Mr. Wahab, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Wahab. I'm sure compassionate really got nice compassion. Thank you for the compassionate. So just to add,
Yes.
right? Just to add, this goes to every one of us. Let's set the bar high. Let's set our target high. Even though we know that the schedule is so busy, we're all struggling to read, we're all struggling to learn. Just give yourself a minimum of 60% as ICAN partner. I can assure you that if you want to go below, it should be around, say, 55 or 59. But if you just give yourself 50%, maybe you might end up with 49. I have one of my guys then, so talented guy that had 49. That was so painful. I pray that will not be our portion. Thank you, everyone. So I would like to take Ekeng question. Is it Ekeng or Ekeng? Can you help me with the right pronunciation?
It's pronounced Echeng.
Okay. Is that a Nigerian name or Chinese name?
Oh, maybe a China name in Nigeria.
You call you. Okay,
Anyway,
welcome, China man.
Yeah,
go ahead with the question, sir.
You people have been wonderful. I have to appreciate all of you for what you have been doing. Though this time around, even though I registered for this to be part of the lectures, I miss it all because of time difference between UK and Nigeria. When I'm back from work, the lecture is finished. But I appreciate all the materials people have given. I hope I will be able to use it. But there is this aspect of it that even last time I asked of it, where they say open-ended questions, and they normally bring in things like maybe the Nigerian economy or digital economy and all those things. But I noticed that we have never had the opportunity of discussing these things with in IoT in such a way that one can have the confidence that you know what you're talking about. So I don't know, because like a lot is happening in Nigeria, which anybody could suspect that they can come hitting with it. For example, CBN policy, exchange this and that and that and that. But we will not be having that. Thank you very much. Was that got it?
Mr. Blasis, are you there? Mr. Hafiz.
Okay. Okay, maybe I should answer that, right?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
here.
we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So one of the quality of ICAN online tutors is we are multitasking. I'm not a baby father. What do you call them? So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm driving at the same time. Okay, so Mr. Ikeng, as we mentioned, well, some of these things are actually beyond us. I can give you public sector accounting and taxation, for instance. So what we used to tell our students is that when you know we have conventional issues that happen in the country, say within the last 1 to 2 years, and it has never been tested in the exam before now, we advise students to just have a good understanding of it. So for some of us as lecturers, we used to look into them, but not as detailed as what we have in the syllabus. So going forward, we will take that into consideration. But something is constant here. We cannot tell those conventional topics until the event has happened. For instance, now they will ask questions around policies on CBN, Naira change, and modification, right? And this capitalization of retained earnings within the microfinance sector. So anyone that is writing what's it called on SFM, we always want to prepare around that. We know a lot of changes that has happened in the taxation planet, right? We can also further our studying around that. So we as lecturers are also doing our best to cover those areas, but we cannot be too certain because national issues. That is my submission. I don't know if Mr. Ridwan or any other lecturers have one or two input to add here. Thank you.
Mr. Ridwan, any other contributions, sir?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Mr. ICAN, I think he just left the call. Was that a mistake?
No, maybe he raised his hand.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, I think he just raised his hand. Yeah.
I'm still around.
Okay. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Mr. Abdulhafiz, for that response. I think you hit the nail on its head. So, basically, yes. As regards contemporary issues that are happening in the Nigerian ecosystem and the Nigerian economy and the Nigeria and the rest of the world at large, ICAN is at liberty to test you as regards that, and you will find this in your syllabus. So usually within 6 months of such happenings, ICAN might test questions as regards that. And of course, I want to believe, because I've observed in the past, and I want to believe it's still ongoing among the tutors, which we also try to train ourselves and educate ourselves in-house on this. So I remember one of the diets, I think it was November 2015 or maybe May 2016. ICAN tested treasury single accounts, and this was just some months after the Buhari administration had implemented it. So they asked for the merits and the demerits and the meaning of it. So if you check your Pathfinder, Public Sector Accounting and Finance, so you will find this question there. So ordinarily, we expect tutors to talk about it in their classes, but also we expect students also to be familiar with the happenings in their environment. So listening to news, reading articles, following trends in the Nigerian economy is important, especially for courses like public sector accounting and finance, and also for courses like taxation and advanced taxation also. This is also important, keeping yourself abreasted with changes in the tax laws, which is also very important. Yes. So other than this, in the future, we would organize maybe a kind of webinar or seminar where we would also be keeping the general IoT community aware of these happenings. So that is it for my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Hafiz, back to you, sir. Mr. Hafiz, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there 100%. Can you take that again, please?
No, you are to continue.
Okay, good. So the last I said I'm taking 3 questions. We've taken 2 so far. So Perpetua, okay. Your question, ma.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much for this wonderful program. Thank you for all you do at IoT, bringing the ICAN lectures to our doorstep, because some of us are due to our location, we are not able to get ICAN center easily. So thank you very much. So my question is, like in writing the ICAN exam, there are some times that we do in terms of preparing to answer the questions. Maybe as you are preparing, you'll be jotting some things down at the back of your answer sheet. I want to know, after everything, when you finish answering your questions, are you meant to cancel those things or you leave it there? Then secondly, I want to ask, in a case study exam, because the case study sheet is already numbered, I want to know if we are still going to number our pages, that's in case study exam. That's the question. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Blavis, am I permitted to attempt to the first question?
Yes, please. You can even take the 2 questions. We are in here together. Thank you.
All right. So I think I have a strength. Let me practice what I preach here. I'm having strength on the first question. So let another person take the second question, possibly the case study lecturer or the guru. So the first question, in planning your solution, you're having a plan page at the back of your question paper, sorry, answer booklet. So at the end of the whole computation, please always remember to cross it out. Always remember to cross it out. And the essence of it is that, one, it doesn't add to your mark in any form, because you just use it as a form of working note or a plan, which will be at the back, at the last page of your answer booklet. So because the examiner may not be thinking maybe you have passed your answer booklet to somebody to help you to write something at the back. So please always remember to cross your plan at the back of your answer booklet. Cross it out in totality to make it clear that this is a plan work, not that it is being generated from any other source. You are the owner of your answer booklet. So, and it doesn't have any additions to your mark or to your solutions that you have done. So you can always cross it out after the whole examination. But if by exam hour or the rush hour too, maybe you think you may forget to cross it out after the whole exam. You can be doing that at the end of each planning. Maybe you are planning your question 1 at the back. After the question 1, you have solved everything, finished. Go back to your working page or your plan page, cross it out. Cross it out. Then, if by any other means you forgot to cross it, there's still no harm about that, because examiner will just mark you according to, examiner will open pages by pages. Examiner will not start from the back, rather examiner will start from the front. So you may not also have any penalty on that as well. So that's my submission. Mr. Blavis or Mr. Oriyomi.
Yes, I'm here. Of course, I think I'll go with Mr. Oriyomi. Then I'll take comment from Mr. Inyoda. The 2 of them are our case study guru. So, Mr. Oriyomi, if you are here, please, very quickly, can you help us to respond to the question? Very quick. Thank you.
Sorry, please, I missed the question. Can you repeat it? I missed that part, please.
Okay. So, one of the attributes of perpetual is doing the same thing over and making it sweet. Perpetual, can you please repatriate your question?
Okay, concerning the case study, concerning the case study, I asked because the case study answer sheet is numbered, paged. So are we still going to number our answer sheets? Like, and if we are going to number it, where do we start from? Because there are some reports that I go through, they don't start from cover page. They will leave the cover page, then maybe start from executive summary as page 1. I want to really understand that page numbering case study. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much for bringing this. I shall be attending to that as stated, and as well as I'm the case study instructor. I'm also part of the case study instructor. Yeah, though your answer booklets would have already been numbered. However, you have to number it by writing page 1, and you are starting from the cover page. I always suggest you number it at the bottom right-hand corner. It's just that I cannot share my screen. If you look at all the reports that I shared, you will always see it that it have page numbering. And your page numbering starts from what? Cover page. Because that is a what? Page 1. That is where your report, the answer to the requirement is starting from. Cover page. your cover page, you know how it should be structured. So you have, if the numbering in the answer booklet, you know, it's a leaflet that have a detached leaflet that have front and back. They might have number it 1, 2, 3, irrespective. If they number it at the bottom, just ensure that you put your page numbering under, that is below. And you know, we have where they usually call margin, where they will say do not write on the margin. The bottom of that margin, that is where you'll be numbering. Bottom right hand corner, that is the right hand side at the bottom of that booklet is where you will number page 1, turn it over page 2. And I always advise that you number from page 1 to 20. And you start your cover page from your page 1. Executive summary will take page 2 and 3. Your introduction will take page 4 and 5. Then from your 6 to at least page 19 should take your requirement 1 and requirement 2, while you are starting your appendix from page 20. That is the standard format that is given. You have to follow suit. That's it. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yom. I appreciate.
Thank you. Mr. Yoda, are you willing to add 1 or 2 input to this also?
I think Mr. Yoda is not on board.
Okay, he's not on the call. So thank you so much, Mr. Wahab, for your time. And I have to be honest with you, that's a beautiful presentation from you. Now we are going to our next panelist. The next person will be calling on to the podium to discuss with us the do's and don'ts of ICAN exam is Mr. Akinibi Oluwatosin. Over to you, Mr. Akinibi Oluwatosin.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Please confirm you can hear me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so I'm to discuss the do's and don'ts of ICAN exams. Yeah, just like an introduction, I'm Oluwatosin Akinibi. So I will be speaking straight to about 6 points, 3 under each of do's and don'ts of ICAN exams. So starting with the do's, the first one I would like to mention is that you do your best. That's very important. You may not be 100% ready for the exam. So, but with what you've done so far, there is high possibility that you are going to pass. So what is important is you just doing your best and look through what you've done so far, what are the courses you are very weak in, then try to allocate more time to those courses. And part of doing your best, that may not be relevant now, because I always advise at times you need to know yourself and understand yourself. And ICAN makes it easy for you in the sense that you can decide on the number of courses to write. So right from the onset, you should know based on your strength and your capacity and based on your time. Timing is also important because most of us are working, and you know how available you are to to study. So you may need to decide, even if you have to do 3 courses out of 5, for example, in professional, you need to do you need to share some exams into 2, maybe do 2, 3 courses and all. So those are important things you need to consider before now. But right now that you've already known that, okay, these are the number of courses you're writing, so look at the courses, how prepared are you in each of those courses, and try to allocate your time to reduce the chance of not passing any of those courses. Then, yeah, that leads to the next point, which is know your strengths and weak spots. Either from the point of view of a course or from the point of view of all the courses you are writing. For a course, for example, before you get into the exam hall, it's best for you to know, okay, out of all the topics we have in this course, what are the topics that there's no how they will tweak the question? You will definitely answer the questions on this topic very well. Because when I'm preparing for exams, right from before entering the exam hall, I know that top questions or any question from any particular topic I have strength in or that is my strength. I don't know how they will tweak it. I know for sure I will answer it well. So you need to understand those topics so that even it will make it easy for you to make decisions in the exam hall. That while reading through, you see some questions from some topics. You already know that definitely this is part of the questions you answer. And you need to also read the additional information to be sure that there are no tweaks. But if you are very good in that topic, the chances that you'll be able to answer the question well, regardless of any tweaks that comes with the question. So know those topics and also know those ones you are not that strong in and see how you can, what is the major areas in those topics that are very difficult for you, and how you can quickly at least reduce your weakness, because at the end of the day, you may need to answer questions even on topics that is not your area of strength, because you need to answer, depending on the level, I think you need to answer about 4 questions. Luckily, you may have 2 out of it or 3 that comes out from your strong areas. So, but you still need to answer some questions depending on luck. At times, if you have, for example, 20 questions or 20 topics or 25 in a course, the chances that they may touch on about 15 or 10 out of those topics. So it's a matter of, at times, the exam is about you doing the calculations, you strategizing, okay, out of all these topics, at least have enough topics that are your strengths, and also look at the trends in past questions. Look at what ICAN love to set as compulsory questions, and make sure or try your best to ensure that that's part of your strengths. You get. But if unfortunately questions or the compulsory one comes from topics that are not part of your strength, then based on the advice we've gotten so far, you may need to start from other questions that you are very good at. And for that one that comes out that is compulsory, you have to do it because you need to follow instructions. You have to do it whether you like or not. Just do your best to answer the question you get. So that's very important, because at the end of the day, yeah, based on the targets that you have in front of you, 60%, and ICAN pass mark is 50%. So just do your calculations that, okay, let's say the compulsory question is usually 40 marks, if I'm not wrong. So we have especially for skills and professionals. So you have 60 marks in other questions. If you know other areas very well, try to get as much marks as possible in those. But for the compulsory one, you still need to get some marks to increase your chance of performing well. So in short, make sure you are familiar with all topics, but know your area of strength so that you can get the maximum marks in those areas, and at least pick out some marks here and there in other questions that you are not 100% good at. So also the last points I have here for your dues is manage your time, both in terms of preparation and in terms of the exam on the exam day. You need to manage your time properly, and that's to emphasize the need for you not to, spend too much time on a particular question. Don't forget, take note of the time allocated to each of these questions. Recently in an exam I wrote about 2 weeks ago, so I had to decide whether to leave a question, even despite the fact that I was not done with the question. I had to leave it because I look at, okay, what is the mark I could get on this particular question if I go ahead to continue doing it. I knew to an extent the answer to the question, but not 100% sure. So I had to decide to move to another question that I'm 100% sure that I could get everything in that question. So at times you need to make decision as you go on in the exam, or depending on the time you have. And it's best to have a time, though the invigilators can, keep you updated on the time you have left, but you can't rely on them to plan your time. It's best to have maybe a wristwatch that you can monitor your progress. Preferably allocate that, okay, if you are answering a particular question, how long are you going to work on that question? Because this is very important. At times you'll be tempted to continue working on the question because you know it, but possibly you are making little mistakes that is not making you arrive at a good point to leave the question, and you have to keep on canceling and going back to correct. No, you don't need to waste your time on that. So just allocate time that, okay, if you are using just 40 minutes on a question, once it's 40 minutes, don't worry yourself. At least even if you didn't get to the final answer, for all the things you've done, for the steps you've gone through, they'll give you some marks for those. And it's best to at least attempt other questions so that you don't waste all your time on just one. So yeah, I think those are very important things I have to mention about what you need to do, both for preparation and for when you get into the exam hall. So for the don'ts, first you need to don't ignore instructions. It's very important, and that starts from instructions on the exam booklets. Even because it's a standard exam, so you even know the likely or the normal instructions that you see, which is, okay, answer maybe number 1 compulsory and answer 2 out of whatever number of questions they were asking in the second part. So all those instructions are very important. Follow the instructions. And I know a particular question has been coming up today regarding if you know some parts. For example, maybe 1A, 1B, you don't know C or D. So the strategy I use for that in the exam is I look at first, I start with what are the questions, out of all these questions, what are the ones I know for sure? Let me say 100%, yeah, 100% that I'll get it right and I'll get all the marks here. So those are the ones I prioritize first. So depending on the questions that I estimate that, okay, I could get, if for example, I know A and B for certain in question 1, question 2, I know maybe C and D, what are the marks for those sub questions? What are the marks? When I add them together, which are the ones that gives the highest mark? So those are the ones I would prioritize doing. Then also, if there are ties, what I do is other ones that I'm not sure of, at least to an extent, which one do I feel I could get that I could get more marks answering? So that's how I decide whether to answer question 1 or 2 or 3. So the ones that gives me the highest mark based on what I feel I know and what I feel like would rough out and bring out something meaningful to get something out of the examiner. So that's how I approach such in exam. So also, you must not ignore the instructions of the invigilators or those that have been in exam or guiding you. You have to follow the instructions. Then the next advice is don't panic. Don't panic. At times we feel there's this exam anxiety that comes to us when we want to write exam, especially if it's your first time. But you don't need to panic at all. Just as I've advised earlier, do your best. Once you prepare well for the exam and you've attended lectures, you've spared some time to at least go over the curriculum to know some stuff, some things about the course, most likely you are going to pass. So you don't need to panic. You don't need to panic. Just do your best. Then don't stop trying to improve your answers until exam time is completely exhausted. There was a diet I wrote then that I think it was professional level. For audits, I did all the exams to an extent that I felt I've passed this exam. And when the results came out, it was that audit that I felt, even there are some questions that I didn't bother answering because I felt with what I've done so far, I don't need to rush and I didn't need to stress myself again that I've passed. And it was just about, I think, about 4 or 6 marks question. When the result came out, I had 48%. If I had attempted that question, that could have, I would have just been one of the few that passed the whole course for that diet, for my diet then. And there was this particular exam, SFM. For that diet, it was really crazy. That in the exam, even I was so tired and scared of the exam because I even felt that was a course I was going to fail in that diet. And the results came out, I passed 4 out of the 5 courses I wrote. SFM, I was expecting not to pass. I passed it. I had 50 on dots. Meanwhile, audits, I was expecting that I should even win prize if possible. I had 48. So that's why I would advise you, don't stop trying to improve your answers until exam time is completely exhausted. Just keep on improving your answers. You don't know. That may be the saving grace to scale through. So, and lastly, don't cancel out answers until you have completed a better replacement. Yeah, this is very important. At times you discover that okay, you make 1 or 2 mistakes while working on a particular question. So when you want to, rewrite or you want to re-answer the question, don't cancel out what you've done so far. Make sure you are done with the replacement before you cancel out the answers you no longer need. The reason for this is you may not have the time to even do as much as you've done earlier. And with the mistakes, even it's still possible for them to mark your steps, even if you've made mistakes in your process to getting your answer, they will still mark, okay, you are in line, just that the examiner will also see that, okay, you made a mistake here, but they may mark other things that you've done. So it's best, if at all you want to change your answers, make sure you finish the replacement before you cancel out your wrong or the answers you want to take out. And preferably try to have answered other questions first before you start changing any answer, due to you may not have adequate time you may not have the luxury of time to still be able to complete other sections of the exam. So I will stop here and yeah, over to you, Adebanko.
Thank you very much, Talua, to see for presentation. I'd like to take 3 questions as usual. Faith Mala, I can see your hand up. Please go ahead with your question.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello. So I want to really appreciate you for this seminar section. So what I want to ask is, I don't know if at the end of this section there will be a bit recap, because my network was all actually bad. So I joined late. I joined at the last agenda, which the lecturer just concluded. So I want to ask if there will be a bit summary of the earlier ones agenda before now. Hello?
Yeah, your network is actually very bad. I'm struggling to hear you, but I think you want to get the agenda, maybe a recorded session after this call, right? So the call is live and it is also recorded. So it's something you can always play back to listen to those points that you have missed.
It's okay. It's fine then.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
So do we have any other question from anyone? I can only see one person has raised, and that is Faith Mala, and the question has been asked. Okay. We have to move to the next speaker. The next speaker is IT. Madam ID, are you there? Over to you, please. Thank you. Is ID on the call? Okay. Mr. Wasim Sani, are you on the call? Please confirm if you can hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can hear you.
So we have 2 more speakers to speak, then we can close out for the day. So we have ID and we have Abdulwasu Sani. Do we have any of these speakers on the call, please? So you can take it up and we can close for the day. Time has been fast spent. I think, please, Mr. Ridwan, can you confirm if ID and Wasi is on the call, please?
Can I confirm what?
If ID and Wasi are on the call. I've been calling them and I can't get any response.
No, I doubt it. Okay, ID, no, she's not on the call. But let me request for her to join now. I sent a request to her.
Okay.
Let me see what you.
So while we wait for our 2 panelists, do we have any question that you want us to respond to on this call? Anybody? Any hand raised? Okay, no hands up. So let's wait for them to join us.
Any general question? General question.
Okay. So I want to ask, during the exam, is there any section where we're going to use a system to maybe log in our name or to sign or to compute anything? Maybe that
Not
sign
at
in
all,
your
ma.
name.
At the moment, ICAN exam is 100% P&P, pencil and paper. So we do have CBT at the moment. Is that
Thank
okay, ma? You are most welcome. Any other general question? While we wait for our speakers.
Yes, please. My hand is up.
Okay, please go ahead, ma. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to ask, for those that have not registered for this ICAN exam, how do we go about it?
Okay, Mr. Aridua, do you want to speak to that? We have our IT support here. They can pick up the question and response to it. Okay, so if I can just give a quick response to that. Registration for ICAN exam is still on. Yes, so you can make payment via payment platform, pay direct, or you pay through bank, then go into login and obtain your ID and other information. So it's still the same procedure. So the registration is still on. I'm not sure it's closed as of now. So may God provide for all of us. Any other general question, please?
I think it's closing on the 3rd.
Yeah.
The registration is
It's
closing
closing
on
on
the
the
3rd.
3rd.
Yes.
This month. So thank you. So we have about just 2 days to go. All I can say is God will provide. So let us know on time if you need our support. Let us know on time. We are here to service you, to support you on your ICAN journey. Okay, let me speak to the past question of 18 again, since no one is asking question. While we wait for the lecturers. You have your answers. Okay, go ahead, ma. Chinda.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello, sir. I just want to ask, confirm particular information I learned earlier on. I learned that you don't wear wristwatch to the exam hall. Is it true? We're talking of
It's
apportioning time to the questions.
No, I'm not sure I'm aware of that. It's a professional exam that is meant for adult people, not for secondary school students. So you can wear whatever you like.
No.
Hello.
So it's not allowed any longer. They don't allow it again.
No. I can't don't
It's
allow
no longer allowed.
No.
Wristwatch is allowed.
No.
Not again.
Yes.
Not
No,
again.
they provided
at every
work
center.
by
I
the
hope they'll
regulator.
provide clock or work clock for
Yes,
us.
there's
Of course,
Yes.
there's work clock centers.
Thank you.
For the
So
past 2
on a
years
lighter
now,
note, is it that am I old? So you cannot wear wristwatch to ICAN exam again.
No.
Yes, for the past 2 years
I'm
now,
sorry,
it has
I
been
didn't know
banned.
that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. We cannot know everything. Wow.
Then part of my general question.
Okay. So I think I have another person's hand up.
Yes.
Ugwen or Igwen. So what's the right pronunciation, please?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
The name is Eugene.
Eugene, thank you.
Okay, my question is this. I registered for the first time in the foundation classes, so I made my registration payment 3 days ago. So when I contacted the customer service, I was informed that I won't be able to write this diet. That my registration came in late and it can't be processed for this diet. So I wanted to ask, is there anything that can be done? I don't know. I'm very prepared for this diet and I don't know.
Let us can we take this off before please, I'm on the business law group. You can chat me. You can chat any of our customer person or our MD, Mr. Ridwan. So we see what we can do regarding that. I don't think I have a specific response to that here on the call. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sarah Aminu, do you have any question? My hand it up.
Yes, I do. Good afternoon, everyone.
Please go ahead. I need that kind of voice now. Everywhere is it here.
Thank you, sir. My
Yeah,
question is
welcome, madam.
directed to okay, Ms. Ayomite. I don't know, for financial reporting, do we leave a page and write the workings, or it's possible we start with the workings on the first page? Let's assume I'm starting with consolidated financial statement. Obviously, I'm to do some workings before I prepare the financial statement. So is it fine I do the workings on the first page, then prepare the financial statement on the second page? And then if he says no, so how is a page enough? Just assuming, is a page enough for the financial statements? So if I'm leaving a page, is that enough to put in the financial statements?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Your mind, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
It's always possible that when you are solving a question, especially in financial and corporate reporting, for you to actually start with the solution, why the workings will come underneath. Let's take, for instance, you are asked to prepare SOFP, SOCI, SOCE, for instance, and you know that all these things we also have adjustments. So it is always advisable you start with the solution directly. For instance, let's say Sarah PLC, consolidated statement of financial position. Then one page should cover for SOFP, and the next page, which is one page, should also cover for SOCI and SOCE. Then that is if the question is SOFP, SOCI, and SOCE. Then we can now use the third page to start your workings from it, because if you're starting with workings, you cannot adequately measure the numbers of pages it will take. That's why it's always advisable to even start with the solution. The examiner will even see the solution. That is why from the solution, you'll be referring to the words, to the working notes therein. And you can also be working alongside. That's just it. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Yomai. Chizom Ogodo, go ahead with your question, sir.
I'm sorry, I've already asked my question already.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry, Mr. Face to interrupt. So for those of you that still want to register for exams, it's still possible. 3rd of May is the end date for payments. Then maybe next week will be the end date for registration. I'm not sure, but if you want to register, I would advise you make payment as soon as possible. If you want us to assist you, you can reach out to our admin, our customer support on 070-4457-6011. I will drop the number in the chat box. Yes, I will drop the number in the chat box. Yeah, I've sent it there. So you can reach out to her if you want us to assist you with the registration. So I just confirmed from her that the end date is 3rd of May. All right, you can go ahead, Mr. Face. Thanks.
Okay, so since we could not get ID and Abdulwasi on the call, and I think we can, for my own end, I think I'm good and the students are fine too. But let me take 2 more questions that we can wrap on the program. So I want to take one more from Eken and another one from Adekemi. Let's try to make it very quickly as possible so that we can close for the day. Thank you. Mr. Eken.
Yeah, thank you very much. My question was just about the solution to the practice questions we have in the CRO. We've been trying to see if we can still get it before this time. So, because it will serve as a guide.
No problem. That's noted. Myself and the CR team will get that across to you. Thank you. So, Madam Adekemi Otunola, the question, please.
Good afternoon, sir. So,
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes, I want to confirm if we can make use of the scientific calculator, and if yes, is there any type of scientific calculator? Because we have different types of scientific. So I want to know.
Thank you. Do we have anyone that can help so that I will not give a wrong response?
Okay, please let
Just
me.
like I said, phone is
Yes.
resource is allowed.
Yes.
Have they taken calculator
Yes.
again?
No program.
Yes, you can use any calculator, either scientific or non-scientific. So far, you are not put
No,
there
I
to
don't
do
think
that.
it's. Sorry, Mr. Yomi. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't think it's any calculator. Programmable calculators are not allowed. So there is so you can go with scientific, but it shouldn't be programmable. So by programmable, they mean that probably you can store information on that calculator. I think there used to be one calculator we used to use in those days.
I remember.
Forgetting the name. I think it's Purple. I think it's called Purple or something. So it's scientific, but it's programmable. People could save maybe formulas on it. There was also some Casio that could do that also. So it's not allowed. And I guess that's the reason why they are stopping wristwatches also. But I actually feel they should have stopped, they should have permitted maybe analog wristwatches. So because some wristwatches today, you can also put information on it. In fact, you can put your whole study pack on it because they have applications that smartwatches, you can do a lot with it. So I guess, over time, they get these tricks that people that are trying to cheat use. And because of that, they stop all these things. So programming, make sure the calculator you are taking into the exam is not programmable. Very important.
Thank
you. And since wristwatches are not allowed also, you have to be very time cautious. That's just the truth. I don't know whether they will hang work logs around, or maybe they will notify you, because in some exams they won't notify you of the time. The examiner will just tell you 10 minutes more, or be rounding up, or 5 minutes or 1 minute to go. And at that point, you'll be shocked that you spent so much time. So for me, wristwatch has always been a guide for me when I took ICAN exams. And maybe 1 or 2 times I didn't use wristwatch, I regretted, because I was just writing, I was still on one question, I had maybe 5 questions to write, next thing I had 1 hour more. And you can imagine what happened to me, because I didn't even know I had spent like 2 hours on just one question. So you have to be very conscious of time, since they don't allow wristwatches again. But this is an issue I'm still going to escalate. I'm still going to talk to my colleagues. We have an association for tuition providers, which I believe we should take it to the management of ICAN to discuss them. They should discuss further on this, that they should allow certain wristwatches. Analog wristwatches doesn't bring any harm. So if it's analog, just on analog, not digital, then it should be allowed. I actually think it should be allowed.
We will appreciate if you can join and with team to discuss that, so that by next diet, I know we have people here that will move from foundation to skills to final, so they can enjoy that, because that is also one of the applicability of time management. So by the time they have their wristwatch on them, they can actually allocate time to each of the questions effectively. So on a lighter note, wristwatch is not allowed, certain calculator is not allowed, because they want to prevent malpractice. What about going to the toilet to ease yourself? Is that allowed? Your might. For some people, they know what the toilet is all about.
Yeah, yes,
when it
yes.
comes to ICAN exam.
There's no restriction to that. However, there's monitoring with security guiding the person going to use the restroom, because that's also been observed that most students always hide their book, handouts, jotters, and the rest in the restroom. So that when they say they are going to the restroom, we use the excuse to discuss about the topic while they were in the restroom. So
somebody is smiling here.
That's
People
the
can
control.
relate.
Yes, that's the
okay,
control.
no problem.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Ridwan, I'm done with the assignment given to me. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone. And thank you so much, my moderator, Mr. Abdulafiz Adebimpe. It has really been a scintillating time having you on our session today. And thank you so much, everyone. I so much believe that you have all gained one or two things from today's session. And I have confidence that that's going to make a positive impact in our life and also our exam. As you can see that writing the exam is nothing for you to actually fear, based on what each and every one of them has discussed with us today. And the first and foremost is to ensure that, one, you actually have confidence in yourself. There's nothing, great or small, that you can achieve without you building that confidence. Confidence actually comes first in everything. Have the belief that, yes, I can do it. If that person you are looking at can be chartered, why can't it be you? If your might can be chartered, why can't it be you? If Afis can be chartered, why can't it be you? If Iyanda can be chartered, why can't it be you? And if there's need to be, my dear, it is up to you. Everyone that has been a chartered accountant or has achieved that feast always have a story to tell. Your office is never an excuse. The challenges you are facing is not an excuse. It is part of what you need to cross to actually achieve that feast. At this pandemic time, I call it pandemic because 2 weeks to you, 2 weeks to us, let's be frank, is too short. That's why I call it a pandemic time or a pandemic period. However, irrespective of the shortness, you can still achieve a lot. Be confident and have a positive thought that you can do it. This moment that you have your defined plan and ensure that you make each day count. You don't let a day go by without you achieving one of the targets you have set for that day. Don't rush yourself. Slow and steady, you can still get it right. If you are doing 5 paper and you are picking it one in a day, my dear, is better for you. If you have 6 paper and you are picking it one in a day and 2 in one day, my dear, is best for you. And by that, just focus on what you have been told. At least minimum 5 last diet will not go wrong. But if you can do 10 diets, so be it, as you have initially been advised. Mark your calendar to ensure that at least, no matter how tired you are, no matter how turbulent your office is, no matter how the challenges is, you must achieve something for that day. And you will not even allow the day to slide without you having something to reckon on achieving. Then, my dear, while you are going through the Pathfinder or you are going through the lecture notes that is given to you, ensure you are looking at how the questions are being solved. Most of the challenges of students is not that you do not know the question, but you do not really understand the requirement. Then, understanding the requirement, you do not even know how to structure your answer. To structure your answer, look at it. The method that has been given to you during the course of your lecture is actually how you can really answer your question. However, not everything have to be, what did I call it? It's not a one-way traffic, BRT. No, be strategic, and also be strategic in what you are doing. Be strategic is, if I do it for you in one way, and you can also do it in that way, which is in line with what you are taught within that scope, so be it. Especially SFM, PM, you know what it means. When we say there's no standard that guides it, just ensure that you know what you really want to solve and you solve it. However, I might solve it in one way, you might solve it in the other way, or we are getting the same thing. That's why you really need to familiarize yourself with the past question, examine the comment in order to improve on the shortfall that is mentioned by the word examiner. Above all, please take care of yourself. Abdulhafiz Adebimpe, Mr. Hafiz Adebimpe always have a saying. He will say that eat well, sleep well, and what did he always say? It's three things. Eat well, sleep well, and what is the other one? Sir? And take rest. And what is that eat well? While you're studying, ensure you don't miss your food. No, don't miss your food. And ensure you get enough sleep. Minimum hour, maximum 5 hours. 5 hours is actually a sound sleep. At least take a 5 hours relaxation. And while you are studying, if you see that your head is banging, or you could not assimilate again, walk away for a while by taking a break from that study. The maximum period you should sit to study should not exceed 2 hours. It should not exceed 2 hours. If you are sitting longer than 2 hours, my dear, it's either your bottom is aching you or your body self is aching you. And I always say, while you are studying, block your calendar. How can you say you are studying and people started calling you? My dear, you are not studying. You are only playing with the study. How can you say you are studying and you are watching karate, or you are listening to comedy, or you are studying and they are watching film, they are watching ball? When you hear go, your attention go to that go. When you hear your mind go to that yay. My dear, you are not studying. To really study, be sincere with yourself. If you are in your office and your guy give you a task, and he tell you that within the next 1 hour, I want to receive this report, my dear, you will shun everything to ensure that you deliver that report in 1 hour. Do the same for yourself. Block us, block anything, my dear, nothing will suffer for that 2 hours that you will have for yourself. You only have 14 days to plan yourself and to do this. And my dear, there is no AOC anywhere. The AOC is your mindset. The AOC is what you have practiced. And while you are practicing, you cannot cover the entire syllabus. I'm never in the school of thought of that. And there's none of my speakers that also says that. However, while you are covering your syllabus, ensure you have idea over those topics or those areas you could not touch. Ensure you have idea. We have been saying, if I know question 1A, 1B, and I do not know 1C, and I really love one of my speakers that say that no matter what, you will get an idea from it. Use that idea to write it. Use that idea to write it. That is why they said you should not leave your book blank. And why would you? You have already paid for the exam. You've bought the paper, you pay for everything. It is now yours. It's now your asset. Use it judiciously. Let your money count for you. The best way your money can count for you is to what? Is to ensure that you did not leave a book blank. And the best way not to leave a book blank is, even though you do not know the answer, whatever your mind can conceive at that moment, write it down. Don't argue with your mindset. Use your idea. Write it down. Use your idea. Put it down. There's nobody here that has not had anything. And if at all you could not even define and you know the formula, you can put the definition in form of the formula. That is why when you're checking your Pathfinder, you will see that there's some definition that they will even put in terms of a formula. Don't be too strict with yourself. Be lenient with yourself. Don't say, this one, I do not know it, I'm coming back. Who tell you, you will never come back to that exam again? Don't have that mindset. Have the mindset of, what can I derive from this? How can I make something out of this? And by that, when you know that your first task is for you not to leave your book blank, you will always want to write something. And for God so loved the world One of our speakers says that you should jot down your point in your booklet. And when we get to the do's and don'ts, you were told that after jotting it down, cross it out. Please, that is really very much important. And above all, maximize your time. Be time conscious and also ensure that you pray. Prayer goes a lot in everything. Prayer goes a lot in everything. Do not underestimate the power of prayer. My dear, being short of time is never ideal. Being short of time is never ideal. It doesn't mean that with a flying color at this point. All you should be doing is anything that can
conclude our conversation.
No problem. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, is that for me? Sorry, are we together? So in any case, my dear all, do not panic. Don't lose your balance. Your composure is just as important as your strategy. And as long as both are really on the track, you will ace your ICAN paper with ease. That we can only confirm to you that it is certain. It may actually sound simple in theory, but we can confirm to you that everything that has been discussed, if you actually put them into practice, without an exception, you will really ace that your exam. Now, go into that exam hall and nail it. We believe in you. Also believe in yourself. And let this diet be your diet. And we pray that as you do so, may God grant you a beneficial knowledge, good understanding, sound retentive memory, and best of luck in your examination. Tell yourself,
Amen. Thank
you. And I will pass it. Tell yourself, this is my diet, and I will pass it.
My diet, I will pass it.
Thank you so much, my speakers. Thank you so much, my co-moderator, Mr. Vlapis Adebimpe. You know, I love you so much, sir. And thank you so much, everyone that has been part of this session today, and you have really make it a memorable one. We say a very big thank you to every one of you. We shall draw the curtain here while we are expecting your testimony to start flowing in.
Amen, Mr. Yomite.
Thank
Amen.
you very
Amen.
much. We
Oh.
appreciate. We appreciate.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Bless you, sir.
Amen. Amen.
And nothing will ever deny you as you died. Thank you so much, everybody.
Amen. Amen.
Thank
you. Amen.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Amen.
Now, everybody. For those that are here to have mock solution, you shall have it through your platform. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. You shall get it. Your instructor are not relent yet. And the platform is still open for you to ask any question. Ask question, ask anything. They are there to guide you. They are not on leave until you write your exam and you drop your pen. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye for now. It has really been a pleasure facilitating this section. Thank you and enjoy.
You know, the last one I asked a week ago.
Sir. Oh, sorry, it's not the weekend. Sorry, I have to work as day to everyone.